Howdy and welcome back. I'm Steven and this is FWP Reviews. The heat of the summer is here and I took some time to revisit some of my favorite summertime childhood movies. This is none other than the Sandlot trilogy. I enjoyed the hell out of these movies when I was a kid, despite the second and third movie being of a questionable quality. I decided it was time to revisit them and do a special video about them. With that, I present the Sandlot Summer Special. The ultimate summer classic is the original Sandlot movie. It's not without its flaws, but it's definitely more universally loved than the other two. This movie represents the left side of today's Venn diagram. This left side, of course, being the plot of the original movie. I will explain the rest of this mysterious Venn diagram in the segments to come. This classic is an absolute blast to watch. The cast is the most solid in this installment. The love of baseball runs at the core of this movie and you can see that unfold. But its creative, sort of vague thematics allow anybody to apply a childhood thing they love to this movie. It excellently displays many facets of childhood. It relies on this sort of notion of the urban myth, and it does so in a really effective way. The Beast and Old Man Myrtle are obviously the forefront of the example of this. These kids are so afraid because of whisperings and rumors, they won't even try the blatant obvious solution. The music also helps perpetuate this nostalgic atmosphere, and it's really fun to invest yourself in that. The Sandlot 2 marks the end of the airtight continuity of this series. The only reason it lasted this long was because there was only one movie. This movie is set 10 years later and it features the brother of the ever-iconic Smalls. Somehow his older brother forgot to tell him that him and Old Man Myrtle were tied as hell. Also, did they all just up and leave after playing on that field in 6th grade? Myrtle said the best ball players had only been there 10 years ago, but that was 6th grade. Surely they would have played there more than just their fucking 6th grade summer. Then the third movie is only a few years after the second, and there's nobody to be seen. I'm so confused. Am I overthinking this direct-to-video sequel? Despite all of this nonsense, as a kid, I found a lot to enjoy about this movie. This movie has baseball and rockets in it. As a kid, I played a lot of baseball, and I wanted to build rockets when I grew up. So it was kind of the perfect storm, if you catch my drift. There was a point in time where I knew every word to this movie. Looking back, perhaps my taste wasn't the best. Perhaps it's not now. But I found some enjoyable elements in this movie though. I enjoyed the cast and the interaction between the softball players and the baseball players, albeit it was all cheesy as hell. There are a lot of elements in this movie that pretty much rehash the same beats of the plot in the first movie, and that's about 50% of what makes up this movie. Now the other 50% is like pure, unbridled fever dream-esque elements, including but not limited to the retriever, which somehow my memory had suppressed, and the junk wall that's art. It's an absolutely banana sequel, but that's the world of direct-to-home video, I guess. We move on now to Sandlot 3 Heading Home. Now, let's bring back the Venn diagram I mentioned earlier. You will see now that Sandlot 2 falls in the middle and Sandlot 3 falls on the right. The right side of this diagram represents none other than a fever dream. Sandlot 2 is an imperfect balance between the two. The third is nothing shy of a nonsensical cuckoo bananas fever dream. With the introduction of time travel, this world just got a whole lot bigger. In this movie, instead of a mildly stoic, kind, friendly group leader, we're given an absolute ass and a half. Not the good kind, though. This does allow for some more character growth, which does allow for some more good moments. It has some callback imagery as well as bringing back Squints and Benny for the movie. It also is more enjoyable in that kind of turn your brain off kind of way than the others. And to cap it all off, we don't really need to worry about continuity anymore because the continuity was thrown out the window in the second movie, so anything goes. Poop jokes, jump scares, screaming kids galore. What more could you possibly want or expect from this movie? Wait, what's that? You want a young Alexander Ludwig to play a complete and utter asshole? Well, that's an oddly specific request, but I have got some pretty good news for you. Gone are the day of petty rivalries where the worst thing you could hear is that you play baseball like a girl. Now, the neighborhood asshole will make fun of you because your mom's dying from cancer. It's all in good spirit, though, right? As much as I enjoyed revisiting this and getting a little bit nostalgic for it, I cannot recommend it to the everyday viewer, except for a purely nonsensical and kind of fun time. Production companies everywhere, take note, because right here on this notepad, I've got the next $1 billion idea. That's right, I'm gonna pitch the Sandlot 4 right here, right now. Don't laugh, because this segment is 100% serious, and if you laugh, I will be very disappointed in you. Picture this, a baseball field with 9 players on it. It looks pretty normal from afar. Very far. When you get closer, you notice all of these baseball players are old men. And when you get a little bit closer, you notice that all of them are played by James Earl Jones. He's in costume from his 9 most iconic roles. You look around and you notice no Vader. What? Vader isn't one of his 9 most iconic roles? I've got some bad news for you. Something much more troubling is at play. It's because Darth Vader is our new beast. Our new guard dog, you might say. Following the loss of a priceless baseball kissed by God himself, Morgan Freeman, the James Earl Jones Patrol must team up to get the ball back. Threatened by the ever-looming Darth Vader, they try all sorts of crazy antics. When none of this works, Babe Ruth, completely material this time, comes to Earth to help these kids get the baseball back. With the toppling of the Death Star-themed wall, the gang goes to return the Darth Vader dog to its owner. The owner is none other than Benny the Jet Rodriguez, David the Rocket Durango, and Tommy Santa Santarelli, and they change interchangeably with no mention with each cut of the camera. This will serve to bring the franchise to the ultimate dream or nightmare-like state. Cut to black. The Sandlot will return. You're welcome, Hollywood. With that ridiculous and lighthearted segment out of the way, let's wrap this up. I hope you all enjoyed this video, as my intention was to be a little more laid back and to just reminisce and enjoy these movies I loved as a child. It is a summer special after all. Next week you can count on my June summary. It was a pretty mediocre month, so gonna be some pretty mediocre movies. Till next time, follow my Instagram at FWP Reviews 100 for daily written reviews about the newest movies. With that, this is FWP Reviews signing off. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you all in the next one.